This is Vince Russo's The Brand.
Hello and welcome to Wrestling with Tragedy. I am your co-host JP John Podge with Two Man Power Trip. Of course, joining me is the Dad Bod God, the Dad Bod Destroyer, Mr. Piers Austin, and of course the Colonel himself, the Extreme Man himself, the Angel Baldy. What's going on, fellas? How you doing?
Hey, what's going on, man?
Doing good.
Case number 115 today. We're going back to the Vince McMahon well because that will never dry up, so it seems.
Definitely not. I mean, I think Vince McMahon has had like scandal all around his name. I think we covered off, the most recent one,
Yep.
with the hush money payout of $3 million, increasing a woman's salary. But this is just one that we know of, and they're investigating many NDAs, and I reckon there's got to be a lot of skeletons in that man's closet.
Well, but before we get that going, let's just get these sponsors out the way before we forget, and then we can definitely rock and roll with this hot topic.
Absolutely. Healthvape.com is your healthy vaping alternative. All of their products are no nicotine, no addictive or harmful chemicals. They help restore your energy while giving you the vital boost you need to get through your day. And they are vitamin infused, ladies and gentlemen. So go and check out healthvape.com. Check out all their vape and pod products. Use that promo code MWAPOD to get a 10% discount, baby, on your final purchase. Next up, we got
definitely. Okay.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. Definitely check out sleeves.com, one of the greatest websites out there for any athlete and what they need for their sports accessory needs. They have headbands, they got arm sleeves, they got anything that you need to protect you on that field and also step your game up. Definitely check out those dirty boxers. They're definitely awesome to wear in the bedroom and also a great laugh in the locker room. Use promo code MWAPOD for 10% off. Tell them Wrestling with Tragedy sent you and it's Kingpin approved.
Yeah, Kingpin approved. Angel, John, so as I was saying just in the intro when we were coming in, there's got to be a lot of skeletons in McMahon's closet. Is this the first of many that you guys believe we are going to see unfold in the next 6 to 12 months about Vince?
Well, the thing about it is that they just released, temporarily suspended or just took him out John Laurinaitis and put Bruce Pritchard in his position as we speak. So it looks like a lot of things are going to come out of the woodwork. But again, you never know how many hands are in that cookie jar. Bruce Pritchard might be involved. There's a lot of things that might be popping up in the woodwork that we are unaware of in regards to the situation. Because, when the boys are involved, there's just a lot of hands involved in it.
Do you think, like in the world of pro wrestling, like we've seen a change in the last few years on how I think the lifestyle, you'd probably say, Angel, like back in your day, it was pretty hard. Like, you guys were out drinking, partying. A lot of the guys I know weren't too much of a big party guy, but now like a lot of the performers aren't putting themselves out there as much. Do you think like we're going to see like in 20 years time, these guys aren't going to have scandalous things happening? The management within WWE, obviously there's going to be a shift change there. Do you think that we'll see less of this sort of stuff coming out about this generation's, performers and management within the business?
Well, I mean, it's just difficult to see what, like I said, what happened 10 to 15 years ago is different what's going on now. I mean, maybe next time there'll be morals clauses. There'll be so many hidden things in your contract that you can't do certain things. You can't get on social media. You can't say certain words, so I won't be surprised there'll be some restrictions on people's contracts in the future, but, it's just the thing is back in the days was a different time. There was no cell phones. I mean, there were, but no camera phones. There was not enough evidence which I'm not saying anything happened. I'm just saying that to incriminate or to speculate or to assume that something happened with the boys and stuff like that. So, I mean, it was just more of a what happens on the mile stays on the mile kind of mentality. Again, nothing crazy. Just like, your addictions never really came out in the open, or any personal issues that you had behind closed doors with your significant other never came out in the open. It was really just hard to find out what was going on with the wrestler's life unless it was some dirt sheet that came out that like using Mike Johnson, PW Insider, or Mike Woodward, said something, but yeah, it's just different back then. But John, I mean, your opinion in regards to this John Laurinaitis release, do you think that it's going to be a permanent situation, or do you think it's going to be something that's just temporary? And if so, would Bruce Pritchard take the helm of that position, or since he's one of Vince's boys, that they're going to start with a fresh, clean slate since he is just the interim?
Seems like it's just interim for now. Johnny Ace has been well protected there for a long time. There's always been rumors and stuff and speculation, but it just seems like he's very well protected. And I feel like they would get somebody else for that role because Bruce is already in the creative department. So now they're putting him in, he's like all over the place. He's in charge of creative or a big chunk of creative, but now he's doing talent relations. It's too much to handle. I think if Johnny Ace is somehow gone and he takes the brunt of it, and maybe Vince doesn't take the heat, but Johnny Ace takes much of the heat, then I feel like they'd have to get a new head of talent relations. Who that would be, I have no idea, but they'd have to get somebody because obviously Mark Carrano is well gone now. He's been fired for a while. Triple H had that role. They didn't like him in that role. They kind of put him in scouting more so, somewhat similar to that role, but definitely in a different facet. So I don't know. I feel like Ace might be the fall guy here for Vince.
I think what's going to happen is that, like you said previously on the episode or case number 114, where in regards to putting a woman in control of certain aspects to give it a more media friendly kind of like, hey, look what we hired. It's a female. We are making changes, and that's why they have Stephanie in that role. Not because of they did it, but Vince is like, well, I'm going to hit somebody that I can not control, but daddy's little girl was always be there. But for John Laurinaitis situation, they might get somebody outside the fold to deal with that situation. I could see Stephanie and the other female button heads.
It's interesting to look at. I think Stephanie going in there was probably the smartest choice to put someone in there. As far as talent relations, I think WWE would probably be kicking themselves now that they released William Regal and he's under contract with AEW, because to be quite honest, I think William Regal would probably do a really stellar job in talent relations. I think, he's very respected from every generation. You know what I mean? He's been around a while. He's not going to take bullshit. And, I think he would be a fair person to work for the performers as well as for the company.
Good, John.
Yeah, for sure. I think he'd be a great choice. I just don't know if Ace will really get in trouble. I mean, we're saying he could be the fall guy, but I don't know if it was what evidence is out there. You know what I mean? I don't know if it's hard and fast, if it's he said, she said. I don't know if there's, something to it, but it just seems like right now, like what happened with Pat Patterson years ago, it's like, okay, you're a part of this scandal. Got to sit you over here for a while. You're going to be getting paid the entire time. So it's nothing, terrible, but we're going to bring you back eventually. So we'll see if there's any evidence, hard evidence that surfaces. But it seems like one of those kind of things where he's just getting paid to sit out for a little bit, let it settle, and then we'll bring you back.
But the thing is this, like you said, there has to be evidence. There has to be evidence, but if they let go of John Laurinaitis, I mean, it's not like he's going to be hurting for money. I mean, the guy's been there for years. He built up a good nest egg. I mean, nothing's going to really, really like affect him. Like if a person lost their job and like, man, I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know how to pay my bills, so he's fine. But due to the fact that, what proof do they have? I mean, because of the money, I mean, wasn't Vince paying them out of his own pocket? You know what I mean? So how is that going to get him in any trouble?
I think it just because it brings scandal to him. He's the face of WWE, and the board of directors, deem that to be, whatever, whether it be, bringing bad publicity to the shareholders, to the company, to the brand.
Yeah, but Vince is not, like we said before. Vince is not a stupid guy, and he's aware of certain things like that, so he has his bases covered. If anything happens that Vince is caught with something, I'm gonna be shocked because he's so on top of his, his shenanigans, scandals, angles. I mean, he's very, very, a wizard in regards to these type of situations. So I can't see him taking any type of punishment from even from the board. Because remember, the boards are not wrestlers; they're just the board. They're just shareholders.
Yeah.
So you could work a worker. You can't work a worker. So that if he's could pull a high spot on anybody, he's going to pull a high spot on the shareholders. John.
It could definitely be the case. And if you think about it, if the stock is way down, there could be a problem. I know it's down a few bucks. I don't know what the percentage was, but it was down not considerably. It was down small amounts. So will they make a huff about it? Will they not? I don't know, because then you look at the ratings, and the ratings for SmackDown were up. The ratings for Raw were way up. And it was like, okay, people heard that Vince was on. It was a surprise appearance. But then you saw the segment after he was on, like skyrocketed to like a crazy amount. So, and it was even word of mouth from my friends were like group texting me. I was like, oh, I had no idea. We're all like, oh, because we weren't watching. There was really kind of no reason sometimes to watch Raw. So Vince was supposed to be on. We quickly turned it on. We ended up keeping it on for a little bit afterwards. But you saw a big bump. So maybe the shareholders see like, oh, shit, maybe controversy is creating some cash here. This scandal is giving a little bit of a bump here. I know technically not for the stock, but for the ratings, maybe that could eventually lead to a bump in stock.
Now, just curiosity. I mean, yeah, everybody. I mean, we're all sitting here talking about this scandal. We're all sitting here talking about the shareholders and what could happen. But just like any type of homicide scene from a mafia movie, if there's no body, there's no crime. Now, you have nobody making any complaints, any female saying, yeah, I was raped, I was forced, I was treated, I was this, I was that. All it is was two consenting adults having a relationship, and for shit to not come downhill on Vince to release any type of personal information, he paid them off with his own money. So where in that world can we see, any type of any type of fucking shit that, any problems, any issues, I mean, there's nothing shady about it. I mean, it's hush money. It's because he doesn't want his business out there. So the way he paid him off is by cash. So where's the problem?
Yeah, I mean, but this woman didn't even she wasn't threatening, I don't believe, to sort of expose the relationship. That hasn't come out, but they just went to her and said, hey, whether Vince is just done with the relationship and this is what he does, he just paid, hey, here's $3 million. You know what I mean?
Now, do you think this might bring up a hornet's nest of individuals now? Okay, like let's say, for example, John or Pierce, you had a girl that you paid off, everything's gravy. Now that the shit's kicking off, now the girl's gonna say, now that this shit's coming up, maybe I could get more money and make a story. Maybe say, I didn't want to say nothing, because he's so powerful. But now that there's an investigation, I feel more comfortable telling my story. And now you're gonna have all these fucking females that he paid off trying to make more money, on the back end. Do you see that type of floodgates opening?
Fucking oath. I think I definitely see that happening. And the board are investigating numerous NDAs. So, you know what I mean? But let me ask this question, right? How long is the life of an NDA?
Knowing that attorney is probably forever. A non-disclosure agreement is permanent. It's forever. I mean, unless the guy dies. I mean, let me take a look. I'll look it up.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because that's something that I would probably say as well. But then with the NDA, was that a WWE, document, or was it a personal document from Vince's private lawyer? Because then that's a different case altogether. Because now it has nothing to do with WWE. This is just a personal thing between Vince and an ex-associate or employee that he had a sexual relationship with, whatever the fuck you want to call it. So the only reason the board would then get rid of him or not have him back as CEO would be that because he as a personality would not be, because he's a married man and all that shit, and it would bring bad publicity as him. But let
me ask you a question before I forget. This is a good analogy. This is funny. You're on a plane. All three of us are on a plane. We have one pilot, right? The pilot's on the plane and he's saying some shit that he's going to do something, and you shoot the pilot. What happens?
fuck, you got to learn to fly a plane pretty quick.
Correct. So what I'm saying is that Vince controls the plane.
Yeah.
If they get rid of Vince, who is in control of that, of steering this company? They can't get anybody from Disney. They can't get the guy from Pizza Hut that used to work in WCW. They can't get, you know what I mean?
Stephanie's going to be in charge.
Yeah, I mean, Stephanie will be in charge, but let's just go with, like, Stephanie says, you know what, fuck you, motherfuckers. You fired my dad, I quit, or whatever. I mean, but he, like you say, he owns a certain percentage of the stock. So I don't know. It was just something like, since he is in major control, he always has that ace up his sleeve. So I just don't see how they could get rid of him without taking a big hit within the organization. Also, an NDA is only good for 1 to 10 years unless there is certain things that need to be kept private, so they the NDAs may be indefinite. So those are the different caveats in regards to the NDA. So 1 to 10 years, or if there is private information, it could be indefinite. Now, also, she doesn't have to say anything. You know what I mean? It's just like saying, like, did you, Bill Clinton, did you sleep with that woman? I had sexual relations with that woman, but he had a blowjob. But the thing is, she could say, well, I can't release it, but these motions right here, I can't say. Boom, fired. There it is. Fire, proof, right there, evidence. So I just think that any type of shit that they might bring up, and again, I'm not saying it will happen, I'm just looking at it as a possibility. That, remember, it's all about perception. You don't have to prove shit. It's all about perception and what people think might have happened. That's all you need.
Yeah, and well put. Like, I think, again, this woman could turn around and from what we read in that statement was she was terrified once she got approached by Vince's lawyer, Jerry McDevitt, and Vince, and offered $3 million. You know what I mean? Like, damn, like, you just got $3 million and all you had to do was fuck this old guy, like, go and live your life. Like, you know what I mean? For all we know, she was living it up and she was telling a friend, she's going, fuck yeah, I was scared at first, but now I got $3 million in the bank. Fuck, I got a Ferrari, bitch. Like,
yeah, hell yeah. Not that she got lucky, I mean, but pretty damn, pretty damn impressive just to kind of, you got to do a little bit of sleeping around with Vince, but hey, you get $3 million. Good job. I don't know I don't know about him intimidating her. He's pretty savvy. Maybe he's just intimidating in nature. I don't think he would do anything to incriminate himself, Jerry.
But that's the problem. What is she? Okay, if the Undertaker was in front of you, are you intimidated?
Yeah, exactly. Is Vince intimidating? Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you see the Big Show, you're looking at him up and you're like, man, you will be intimidated. But has he done anything to cause you that fear? If that's the fear personally that you feel, that is your personal feeling, and that has nothing to do with the situation. So if you're afraid of Vince because of whatever you're feeling, then that's guilt fucking with you, because that's something in your brain that's just tickling the back of your fucking what's that from fucking the longest yard, Magluta Amblungata, in the back of his brain. What is it?
Water boy.
Yeah, water boy. Something's wrong with that boy, whatever. But yeah, so I just think that that's on her, man. I mean, if Vince has not done anything, or if he is an intimidating individual, but if he's not doing anything and that's on you, then that's your problem.
Yeah, but yeah, let's look at some of the past scandals that he had. Like, the one with the referee. Like, she came out, like, how long after the fact? Like, this apparently happened in what, 1983?
Yeah, 84? I think it was. Yeah, I think it was in the 90s. No, 80s. I'm sorry.
84.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, I mean, like, that's the start of it. Like, do you, like, everything that we've seen of Vince McMahon over the years? Let me ask you this: do you think he's a womanizer?
Repeat that. Sorry.
I said, do you think Vince McMahon is a womanizer?
All the boys are womanizers. That's part of the business.
Yeah, but this is the head honcho of the business.
We are all womanizers. I mean, where in this world? I mean, I admit it. I don't give two fucks if they fucking, you know what I mean? I mean, did I use my fucking celebrity status to get the pussy? Yeah. I mean, you know, did I took advantage of individuals? Hell fucking yeah. You know, I was singing the fucking shit from the Lion King. It's good, you know, it's good to be king. I was fucking, I was galloping in the fucking hallway, with, but that's just, but they were consensual, you know. Everybody is a womanizer.
Yeah, wasn't he accused of something back in 2006 of wrongdoings, but nothing happened to it?
I don't remember what was that one? Was that the tanning salon?
Yeah,
I think that was a tanning salon one. Yeah. So there was a woman that claimed video surveillance would back up her story, despite knowing that the store did not have video surveillance. The victim claimed she spent several hours in the company of McMahon, but couldn't pick out Vince McMahon in a photo lineup. The eyewitness didn't witness anything. He was a 17-year-old friend of the woman who was working in a different store in the mall. His testimony was that she approached him later, and it was seen as unreliable because it contradicts her statement to the police. Initially, the woman had claimed that the assault happened on the Sunday when shown that it was physically impossible for Vince McMahon to be in the salon at that time of the assault, as he was at a live event with thousands of witnesses. She changed her testimony to the day before.
Sounds like she's lying, to be honest. I mean, who knows? But just what it sounds like.
Yeah,
she can't identify him. She wasn't there that day. Oh, I meant the day before. My friend could see it. Well, he didn't. Oh, if there were cameras, well, there aren't cameras. Sounds like she's bullshitting. Lie detector would probably, Maury Povich would go nuts on that one.
But the thing is this, man, everybody's pushing on Vince. I know Vince slept with a lot of women in WWE. I mean, that's just the the nature of the beast. But look at fucking now I forgot his name. We just got fired. He came out in the gladiator outfit.
Killer Cross?
Killer Cross. His female that he's engaged to that heard stories that she was just, laying pipe down like she was fucking working for the, as a fucking plumber. She was laying pipe everywhere just to get to where she wanted to go. She worked the angle, man. Pussy pulls more than a tugboat. And she worked the angle and she fucking did what she needed to do to get the spot she wanted to get.
That's a big accusation, bro. You really?
Oh, but we're bringing up accusations. You're bringing up accusations with Vince.
No. I'm just saying, like, I never heard that of her.
Yeah,
like, I'm saying that's a big accusation. I'm not saying that you're making the accusation. I'm just saying from what
I wasn't there, but I heard, and I mean, I don't know the bitch from Adam, but none of my business. But that's what I heard.
I was watching an old interview with Stephanie McMahon. She was on the Howard Stern show. It had to be like 2004, 5-ish, something like that. And Howard was like, "Oh, in Vince's book, or Vince in an interview, whatever, he'd mentioned how he cheated on your mom, and like, how do you feel about that?" So obviously, it was out there, but it was consensual. I hadn't heard anything other than Rita, the referee, saying that he forced himself on her. But it seemed like all the McMahons knew that he was just doing whatever, and Linda was just kind of sticking around, waiting for her political aspirations to come through, I guess. But Stephanie knew about it too, that he was a little bit of a womanizer.
Yeah, I mean he even laid the pipe down to Sapphire, to the Dusty Rhodes theme music out of the shower.
I can actually imagine Vince McMahon actually coming up with
holding his nightstick.
Hello, ladies. That's such good shit. Let's get a porn star.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, I mean, shit. But I mean, like I said, Vince has his shit covered, man. I mean, unless he caught dementia and he slipped up, then that's the only way he's going to get caught.
Maybe. Have you seen some of the creative decisions? Maybe he does have dementia. Who knows? Did you see him getting out of the ring on Raw?
Yeah, that was fucking
Yeah,
fun.
I'm surprised he didn't blow his knee out like he did when he slid in the ring.
So funny. And some guy, I forget his name, but he kind of went viral with. He had an awesome picture of Vince jumping off, and Vince is like this, jumping onto the ground. Oh, the memes or whatever you want to call them.
Oh
The
yeah, I
kid,
see
oh,
trampolines. No, but
so
just
funny. Yeah,
but do you think that's a fuck you jump?
Fucking oath. That's
You know,
like
like
him going, yee, look at me.
yeah, like somebody
oh,
skipping in the park. You know, like he's just
yeah.
jumping like yeah, motherfucker, I'm still here.
It's like he's a crazy old man. Yeah,
Yeah.
Bro,
exactly.
he's doing it like, yo, you think this is the first one, bitches? Like, fuck. Like, dude, but that's the thing, man. Like, this investigation started in April. How many fucking investigations since WWE has gone public has there been about Vince McMahon?
I bet you the only reason they were doing that is because they really trying to get him. So they've been doing it on the down low since April to see what they can bring up and what kind of dirt they can throw shit on the wall and see if it sticks. You know.
Yeah, that's why. Like, I have a feeling Nick Khan was a guy that they brought in, and the board sees something in him, and I think Nick Khan will be the last man standing, bro.
Fuck Nick
Possibly.
Khan.
Possibly.
Yeah.
Rock's boy. That's Rock's boy right there.
Bro, you know what? Imagine if The Rock comes in and buys WWE. Like, does he have that kind of money?
Sure, he's got friends that have that kind of money. Look, hey, he just bought the XFL, so he's got friends in high places.
Yeah, but he bought it. I mean, but he had shareholders. He had some,
Partners, yeah, yep,
yeah. But
investors,
also, but how much was it to buy the XFL?
like 16 million. Obviously, WWE is going to be probably 5-6 billion at
Yeah. So,
the last evaluation of it. I think was over 5 billion. So it'll be expensive, but I'm sure he's got some friends and he's
well,
got some weight.
You could do a Wimpy. Remember Wimpy from Popeye?
Yeah, oh, yeah,
I'd be
yeah.
I'd be glad to pay you Tuesday for a hamburger today. So it's like I'll be glad to pay you some other time. Just give me the company today. I'll pay you. I'll take it on a lease.
The Rock going in there, like, I don't know, like, I don't know. I can't see McMahon's just leaving WWE. I think if Vince doesn't come back into that role, bro, he's gonna simply, like, Stephanie will take over it. I thought Triple H for many years was going to be the guy to replace Vince.
She would.
Definitely not now.
No, not
Doesn't
at all.
seem
But
like it now.
the Rita Chatterton case, she looking into this, she was approached in the WWE 92. Oh, went 92. She was contacted by Gerald Rivera's brother for a TV show and asked for $5 million in order to do an interview.
Geraldo
with the TV show. Geraldo. I don't know, whatever. But it was originally supposed to be about the steroid abuse. And then that's when she started making those accusations that Vince assaulted her.
Mm-hmm.
And also, like, she attempted to fabricate an audio recording which would implicate McMahon and accuse him from 1988, but it was discovered that she made this in 1992 and then threatened to sue the WWE for $1 million after the release of the interview with Geraldo's brother. The McMahons refused to pay and instead decided to sue her for defamation and punitive damages of $1 million. That's fucking nuts. So this bitch made, like, I thought that actually did happen and they did pay her off.
Not that I remember. I thought she got in trouble. I thought she ended up getting a defamation lawsuit hung on her because her story wasn't exactly holding up.
Yeah, well, she never received a penny. Yeah, so I thought she got paid out for that. And I thought that came out because she got paid out for that.
Another win for Vince.
Man.
He doesn't lose much in court unless it's Ultimate Warrior, Jesse the Body Ventura, and the Pandas. I mean, is that not... Oh, and the recent one where he had a payout for the Saudi scandal.
Oh yeah, I
It's-
remember that.
But you know what it comes down to, like, is Vince bulletproof? Is he?
No,
Can
but he's
he?
Teflon. Nothing's sticking.
Do you think this is going to stick? Do you think this is going to be the end of McMahon? Will Vince McMahon be fucking cancelled?
Nope.
Doesn't seem like it.
Because there's nobody complaining, and just like my homeboy OJ said, if it doesn't fit, you must have quit. You know what I mean? It doesn't have any meat on the bone. There's nothing they can do. What they're trying to stick him with is they're trying to figure out if he used company money. That's what they're trying to lead. Like, he used company money to keep people hush, but it looks like he's only been using his personal cash, and then John Laurinaitis is going to get hit for something.
Like, what are they accusing Laurinaitis of, though?
The hot tag.
What do you mean? Tag teaming?
Using his position to sleep with some of the divas and using his position to sleep with this girl, I guess.
Hot tag.
Wow.
That's called the hot tag, brother.
Like when Vince was done with her, then Laurinaitis started dating her, fooling around with her.
Yeah.
Wow. And he's married to the Bella's mom. Imagine that fucking asshole, bro.
But it doesn't matter.
But there's a big rumor out there that supposedly many years ago, Johnny Ace and the Bellas had something going on. So
I heard that.
Well, hot tub action, yeah. So I mean, who knows if that's true or not? But that's out there. So if they, if the Bellas knew about that, obviously they know his character and kind of, maybe he's a little bit of a philanderer. You know what I mean?
Imagine if everybody in WWE are just swingers and they're just like, no one's really giving a fuck. Oh, yeah, this is just a fucking Sunday.
They used to say the boys being the boys kind of thing, but I don't know if that mentality sticks anymore, or if that, if they're able to do that anymore. But it seems like Vince just doesn't give a shit. Supposedly, oh, he's done. He's gone. Then he's on SmackDown. Then he's on Raw, and he gets a pop both nights. So it's like, I don't know if he's going anywhere. I feel like maybe he knows they have nothing on him,
Because think about it. If the fans, if he really was the shit, right? Okay, due to the fact that everybody got hit up with the sexual allegations, issues with the females, he touched me, he did this, he did that, right? There's not, and then everybody got booed, and they got canceled. Says nobody has ever came out stating anything. That's why he's still golden with the fans, because there's nothing that is coming out stating that he did anything wrong besides use his own money to fucking keep bitches quiet. What is wrong with that?
And everybody online, what they keep putting on and putting out there? Storylines. They're like, oh, look at the way he acted in the storyline. Look what he did in the storyline. Vince McMahon, the character they're trying to say is Mr. McMahon, or is Mr. McMahon, and vice versa, trying to say like the characters themselves. So, oh, look what he did with Tori Wilson on TV. Look what he did with Trish Stratus. Look what he did with Stacy Keibler. Hard to kind of say the character is the same person as the guy away from the screen. Sure, he might be wacky, but I don't know. I mean, you can't kind of say he's guilty because the character was a evil, maniacal psychopath. You know what I mean? You can't kind of put two and two together. So they kind of don't have any evidence that I've really seen. And even like if you go back to the Jimmy Snuka stuff, in Dark Side of the Ring kind of covered it too. That's a lot of like mythology. Nothing's been proven. Oh, he walked in with this briefcase and he walked out
now
without it. Like, there's no proof of that either. That's more of like hearsay.
The only reason, and I agree with you, that's just hearsay. No,
Yep.
100%. But this is the part that I'm like, I don't know. Because somebody told me who was in the WWF, and I don't want to say no names, that is a personal friend of mine, who stated that story, and it was over dinner and at a party with friends and family. And they have nothing to show, nothing to say to gain out of it. You know what I mean? So when I heard that, I'm like, ooh, wow. It was just a conversation that came out in the middle of something, and I'm like, holy shit.
The thing is, like, okay, Snuka was their big guy, even though technically he wasn't the champion. He was really like their big guy then, so they really needed him. I don't know, like it sounds like a little bit of mythology too, because even Tonga Kid, who they interviewed Dark Side of the Ring, and it's pretty embarrassing on Dark Side of the Ring's kind of perspective to put him on. His story doesn't match up to the years that he was in the WWF. So like he's talking about Nancy and all this other stuff. Tonga Kid, you weren't in WWF until the year after that, so it's like I don't know. Like I know some of the stories in the Snooker case just don't add up, and I know what he said, so then kind of leads to maybe he is guilty. It's Snooker himself, but like the Vince stuff sometimes doesn't hold weight unless there's some more proof to it. Sure, it could be true, and people could say it's true, but I don't know. A lot of this stuff is like you got to have more, especially if you're going to get Vince. You got to have more. You know what I mean? You got to have like hard evidence. Even this NDA stuff, it's like, oh, well, I'll use my own money. All right, then we really don't have evidence. It's just a hush payment, and the woman said it was consensual. So, like, you didn't get him there. Like, what are you going to get him on? You know what I mean?
Yeah. And like I said, and as Angel said, I apologize. Vince is a smart dude, bro, and he's a worker. So, he'll work himself out of this situation, bro.
Look at the steroids. Remember, he comes in with the neck brace.
Yeah.
and the steroid trial and everything else. And he got Jerry Jarrett in. He thinks he's going to be, maybe go to jail or whatever. McDivitt gets him out of it. Hogan actually comes in to testify, and you think he's a part of the government. He comes in and testifies. Now, Vince didn't make me do steroids, but he didn't do this, he didn't do that. The whole thing. He incriminated himself a little bit because he said he didn't really do steroids, but that's a different story for a different day. But got Vince off. So Hogan, with honesty, just he helped get Vince off. Obviously, McDivitt did a great job in court, but he beat the government. You know what I mean? He's showing up in a neck brace, which people are so funny making fun of him now, talking about the neck brace. He's going to need it again, but he beat the government. He's just like
he's that smart.
Angel said, yeah, he's just Teflon. He's able to kind of get away with everything. Look at the Owen Hart. I know he paid $16 million, but technically a guy was killed in his ring and nothing happened.
Yeah, like that. He did a payout of that to Owen Hart's family, right? $16 million.
Yeah. Yep.
But how the fuck do you put a dollar value on some? You know what I mean? Like, how can you put a dollar value on someone's life? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
nope.
like, you know what I mean? Like, if we were to go and ask our wives if they'd like $16 million or their husbands and the father of their children, what are they going to say? You know what I mean?
I know my wife might take the 16 million. I don't know.
It depends what day of the week it is, right? Any given Sunday. But I think with Vince, he's one of these old school people. He does not give a fuck. It's clear we've seen him come to the ring twice on SmackDown and on Raw, and seriously, he is the master of the fucking no sell, because he is no selling the shit out of this.
Yep. I just can't believe you said John Cena was the biggest superstar of all time. That really irked me. That bothered me. But hey, that's.
I don't think John Cena is the biggest superstar of all time.
Is that funny? What is he going by on that? I was just. I know this
is
probably his topic, but
probably Make-A-Wish his Make-A-Wish Foundation, all that stuff. But I don't see.
Yes, if you want to go by like who's like the biggest star ever that led to less viewers than than the guy before him, Cena's definitely the biggest. But if you want to go by actual numbers, I don't know. Hogan and Austin smoke his ass. Rock smokes his ass.
Oh yeah, man. I mean, but there's always like somebody saying like LeBron James is better than Michael Jordan. It's one of those things that is just like, well,
I don't even know if LeBron James is better than Steph Curry, to be honest.
But it's also longevity as well. Like Cena's run was fucking 13 years. What was Austin's run? 6, 7. Yeah. Rock's probably the same.
Mm-hmm.
Hogan's
10, 9, 10, yeah. But then he came back in another run. But yep.
I think if you look at it as far as longevity goes, I think Cena's probably been the most consistent, headliner.
Is it good to be a consistent headliner when it plateaus down though? That almost says like, hey, you had the guy in the spot for too long. That's on Vince. Big mistake.
Yeah, and I think Vince as well, like, and I mentioned this on the first one, like, should he be stepping away and doing less creative?
I think people have been wanting that for years. It just seems like he's a little out of touch. You know what I mean? Like, can a 76-year-old guy really kind of relate to what people want to watch now? And it's funny, you look at like the median age, whatever, wasn't it 52 or 53? So, okay, even that 20 plus years on that person who you consider pretty damn old, like quote unquote, for TV viewers. You know what I mean? Because they want these younger 18 to 39 or whatever, 18 to 49, like they want younger viewers, but yet a 76-year-old is kind of dictating even to a 50-year-old what they want to watch. I don't know. It seems like he's completely he's been out of touch for a long time, it seems like.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, but that's what I'm talking about. Like, and I said that on the previous episode is like, how can a 76-year-old man understand what's hip in fucking modern day culture? Like, when he had Bad Bunny come out, do you think he knows who the fuck Bad Bunny is? Like,
Nope.
you know what I mean?
Well,
Or Jake Paul or Logan Paul? Like, he's got no clue. He's
well,
got
but
all
you,
these motherfuckers feeding him shit.
but it's also like Warren Buffett, man. The guy's older than dirt, but the market changes all the time. But the guy's, has his, the pulse on the industry. So it just depends, man. I mean, I don't know if you know who Warren Buffett is, Pierce, but it's just that he has his finger on society. I mean, I know he does some stupid shit, but he's still relevant. You know what I mean? In that aspect.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think Vince McMahon is probably a genius, but if Vince was to step away completely out of the creative role, who would you put in there in WWE as head of overall creative for the company? If you had to pick the best person for the job in the world, who would you pick?
No clue. Tony Khan.
No, I mean that's something that's very difficult because you got to find somebody that knows the business to the letter, you know.
I mean, would you put someone like Paulie in?
Oh, why not? At his age, though, I wonder if he wants to deal with like the stress of having to do weekly creative television. I mean, that could be even in ECW. You could tell he completely burned out. You know what I mean? After a few years. So at his age, I don't know if he'd want to. I would love to do that and kind of put him, you know, in charge of something or be some sort of uh, pivotal role in creative. Because remember, a few years ago they had him in creative, but he was working hand in hand with Vince,
Yeah.
and apparently none of his ideas were getting through, and the guys he wanted to push weren't getting through. So, maybe if he's on his own, he would do better. But I don't know if he's got the energy for it anymore at his age. But he would be great creatively. I think that he would be a great start. I don't know what this woman Christine Labrano, who's supposedly the head of like creative, whatever. I know she's from IFC or whatever world she's from of creative writing, but I don't know if she's the right thing. Obviously, Bruce Pritchard is not that great in creative. He's great at being a producer and other things, but he's never been really kind of strong on the creative front, unless you like Mantar and TL Hopper and guys like that. But
Okay, let me throw this name out here. What if The Undertaker came in as head of creative?
I don't know.
Old school veteran.
Does he have creative background? I don't know.
I mean, he kept the Undertaker gimmick relevant for what, 30 years?
But it's one of those things too. It's like, can he do it for somebody else? You can be creative for yourself and give yourself ideas. Can he give somebody else a good idea?
Yeah, true. I mean,
what about Gabe Sapolsky? Giving him a shot.
That motherfucker.
I mean, do you think he could go at that?
That motherfucker king. I don't even let that motherfucker mow my grass, bro. That dude has no fucking talent.
What? He was Heyman's assistant. He booked ROH. No.
Pierce is my assistant. And it doesn't mean anything.
True.
Fuck you. Okay, what about this? What about Uncle Vince? Do you think they would give him another shot if Vince McMahon was on the down and out? Would they bring in Vince Russo?
Hell no.
Yeah. No, Vince will burn the ship down before Vince Russo would get him. I'm not saying negatively. It's just how their relationship is so.
But Vince Russo wouldn't even want to go. I don't think at this stage of his life would he want to go back and deal with that stress and bullshit.
Working 70 hours a week. Hell no. Yeah, that's crazy. Unless you could do it from home.
Yeah, but
zoom it in.
Then, I'm just thinking they could get someone like The Undertaker, a veteran or something in there that can go in and and start putting pieces together. Like you have your creative teams, you know what I mean? He's not the one doing it, but I think Undertaker would know what's good and what's not good, right?
Definitely.
I'm looking at some. Sorry.
Or they bring that woman back that's called Bobby Ashley.
Oh, Kenise Mobley or whatever. Yeah, Bobby Ashley. Yeah, that was bad. Oh my god, so dumb.
Oh,
I
my
don't
God.
like that like they don't know anything. Like you can't hire somebody who knows nothing. They keep saying like they like Hollywood writers that now aren't necessarily from the wrestling world, but you got to know the characters. You got to know the guys. You got to do a little bit of studying.
Yeah, man. Like, I think that's like that with any promotion or any sort of like
It's
wrestling
weird.
company.
Like Vince
You have
almost
to-
likes that they don't know. Isn't that strange? He almost like was hiring people that didn't know wrestling over people that did.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Bring
kind
back,
of like,
bring back Brian Gewirtz.
you
I'm
know who
trying
I
to
reckon. You know who I reckon they should bring back? Jimmy Jacobs.
Where's he now? Impact writing?
Yeah, I think he's producing and writing for Impact. Because he got fired from WWE for throwing up too sweet with Cody and the Young Bucks.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right. Yep.
Yeah, but you know what? Like, I've interviewed him and I asked him what like WWE, and he basically said you have to be on drugs to be working in WWE. That was his response. He goes, I went to rehab. He goes, I got out, and he goes, I was straight. And he goes, fuck this shit. How the fuck do I get out of here quick?
A lot of pressure. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I think the creative job, man, that's one of those things where it's such a fucking hot seat, bro. Like it's so numbers driven. If you ain't hitting the numbers, man, like you're constantly, I feel, would be walking on eggshells, to keep the numbers high, to keep TV ratings high. It wouldn't be a job that many people, I'm sure, would want.
Yeah, that's something that's very difficult to. I don't know, dude. It's just like I said. I don't think Vince is going nowhere. So we can make a wish foundation all we want. I don't think anything's going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But guys, that is the show for the week. I think that's we've gone over Vince McMahon part 1, part 2. Guys, make sure you subscribe to the russosbrand.com. That's patreon.com/Russo TWC to get an exclusive first look at all of our episodes and case numbers. Also, guys, make sure you follow us on all social media at Wrestle Tragedy. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Give us a like, share, subscribe, hit the bell to stay notified. We have episodes being released there every single week. Also on all podcast platforms. Give us a 5-star review and check us out, guys. But John, Angel, finishing up this case, I think we're all in consensus that Vince ain't going nowhere, right?
No, I don't think Vince is going nowhere unless they find some evidence that is really, really incriminating. And until then, it's like I said, it's all speculation. And if it's as long as he's using his own money, he hasn't done nothing morally wrong for them to even give him a fucking get heat.
John?
As Disco would say, it's all speculation. We don't know, but I think he's not going anywhere. It's funny too because we talked about how many scandals we mentioned 10 or 12 of them, and there's like 10 or 12 more. And he's never got in trouble for any of them. So he really is Teflon. He hasn't got in trouble. I don't think this is going to get him in trouble either. He just seems like he's doing everything by the book of what you should do PR wise to just okay and what I mean, just like get through the tragedy, get through the struggle here. Let's just do okay. Well, I'm going to step down. I'll put my daughter in as interim, but I'm still going to be here. I'll show up on TV and run creative. So I think that he knows that he's not in any trouble, and he's really kind of being cocky about it. But I don't know what will get him, what's going to get him, but nothing
unless he
has been able to so far.
Unless he has a room like in one of those movies, like a dungeon type of room that has all the videotapes and incriminating evidence, and and a dead body buried under the floorboard, they ain't gonna get shit. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. I think
agree.
they're going to be digging for skeletons. I think his closet is packed with them, but I think Vince McMahon has been very smart with how you know what I mean? Like he's not a fucking idiot.
No, I agree. He is not a fucking moron, so he knows what he's doing.
Oh yeah.
All
All
right.
right, guys. Well, for us to mosey on out of here, guys. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for subscribing and checking out Wrestling with Tragedy. We will see you next week for case number 00116. You know it's going to be fire. You know it's going to be hot. This is the Dad Bod God along with the ECW original, the Kingpin Angel motherfucking Medina, and the two-man motherfucking power trip, Mr. John fucking Paz. Signing off. We'll see you again very, very soon, guys. Take care. All the best. Peace.
This is Vince Russo's The Brand.